The other day, my therapist asked me if she could watch my YouTube videos to support me, and I said yes. So can't wait to unpack this one with her. Hi besties, welcome. I hope you're doing well. I can't take myself seriously after posting that video on the internet, and now here I am to do a part 2. Today we're reading the next section of my One Direction fanfiction from middle school. Also, it never had a title, but I think we should give it one because that is just what it deserves. So if you have any title suggestions, drop them down below. Today I'm drinking Dark Horse Pinot Noir because my fanfiction is the dark horse that is creeping its way to the top of your favorite books of the year. I'm just gonna get progressively more intoxicated as this video goes on. Drink responsibly, folks. If you didn't see the first installment of this horrific series, you should watch that because otherwise you're gonna be incredibly confused. If you have, welcome back. Why are you still here? It's a shit show. Very quick recap. Sarah is visiting the boys at the X Factor house right now. They decided that they're gonna play basketball. I feel drunk already and I've had 2 sips of wine, but it's just because I'm drunk off of One Direction. This is in Sarah's point of view. I decided to head down to the gym ahead of them. I beamed looking around at the court. I missed it. I hoped I still had skills. LeBron James. I sat right down in the middle of the court. I started stretching. I was stretching my left leg back as far as it could go when the boys walked in. Louis whistled and Niall said, "Stretching is sexy and you are so hot right now." Why? Cheers. If I ever make merch, it's just gonna say stretching is sexy. I did the butterfly, knees almost touching the floor. I did a set of suicides and ran 6 laps. The boys just stood there. Never in a million years could you pay me to like stretch and run in front of men. I like that the fictionalized version of myself is just like very confident and like also hot. Are you just going to stand there? I like that she waited until she was running for at least 15 minutes to ask them that. They looked at me blankly. "Okay, boys, on the floor," I demanded. The boys started walking to the center of the court, all of them but Niall. Niall walked towards me. "What are you doing?" He didn't answer. Instead, he crashed his lips against mine, violently. That's a red flag. I stumbled backwards and felt my legs hit the table. Niall, still kissing me, put his hands flat on the table behind me, trapping me in the kiss. I pulled away, breathing a little heavily. "You aren't getting out of stretching. On the floor." Niall made a pouty face and walked backwards to the center of the court. Let's just say they weren't flexible. I did an almost split. I have never in my life even done an almost split. Niall was just gaping at me. "God, you're sexy." Okay. I smirked a little, trying to control my blush. Okay, so teams. I chose Harry and Louis. Oh my god, not choosing Niall. Drama. Is it me? Am I the drama? Niall looked at me questioningly. I looked him in the eyes and said, "I want the chance to kick your ass." He smiled and replied, his voice enticingly flirty, "It's so on." I huddled with Harry and Louis. "Louis, you get Liam. Harry, get Zayn. I got Niall." "Okay, boys, this is an aggressive game and I will not lose. Run hard, push hard." "It's about drive, it's about power." They seemed surprised by how serious I was. Yes, because it is a pickup basketball game. It's 3-on-3. "It's about drive, it's about..." I was standing by Niall. I put my hip against his, ready to shove him if necessary. "It's about drive." Louis threw the ball and Harry tipped it right to me. I snatched it and ran down court. I did a layup, scoring the first goal. I got close track of the points in my head. Yeah! It went basically like that for the first half. The score was in our favor, 32-11. I felt Niall come up behind me and put a hand on my hip. "I had no idea you could play like that. It's really attractive when girls can play sports."
I hate preppy chicks. They're always like, "Oh my god, did you see that cute guy? Die in a hole."
I can't even begin to unpack the sexist undertones of that statement, so we're just gonna carry on. I've learned. I leaned in so I could hear his steady breathing. The tips of our noses brushed against each other as I whispered, "Number 1 rule of basketball?" Niall closed his eyes and leaned into me, ready to kiss me. I finished my sentence. "No kissing your opponent." I pushed against his chest and walked away slowly. Ooh, go, go, go. I don't even know who I'm rooting for. Whatever team Louis is on. When I turned around and looked at him, he stood there open-mouthed. I walked back to my teammates, swaying my hips a little, trying to drive Niall crazy. Distracting your opponent was perfectly legal. The game proceeded apace. Who says apace? I need to drink this wine apace. 1 minute was on the clock. Niall's team had the ball. What clock? We had pretty much already won. Niall was right behind me. I was close enough to him that my butt was touching him. I wasn't trying to be suggestive, just aggressive. It's about drive. Niall leaned forward a bit and said, "You have a nice bum." No. Niall, I said, taken aback. I was still keeping my eyes on the ball when Liam shouted, "Now!" I felt Niall's arm squeeze my waist, and suddenly I wasn't on the ground anymore. I was being flung over Niall's shoulder. Do you guys remember from last time? She doesn't like to be lifted. Liam had a clear shot. He aimed, shot, and scored. I realized Niall was still holding me, and he had a hand on my butt.
Jail. Right away. No trial, no nothing.
Niall Horan, what the hell do you think you're doing? He set me down in front of him. I reached back and slid his hand up to the small of my back. What was everyone's obsession with the small of your back in fanfiction? If you read them, you know. I kicked your ass. I know, but it was wonderful to have my ass kicked by you. That is directly from The Fault in Our Stars when Gus says, "It would be an honor to have my heart broken by you." This is not the same. It does not carry the same weight.
Gus, I'm a grenade.
But I love how much I just shamelessly stole from John Green. Kissed my neck up to my cheek, then our lips were opening and we were full on making out. There are people around.
Right in front of our salad?
We totally forgot about the boys until a basketball hit Niall in the back. A smile spread on Niall's face, and mine too. "So, what teams for the next game?" They all looked at me, eyes wide. "Next game?" Louis groaned. "Is there another game you'd rather play?" "There's a football field down the street. Let's go." By football, I'm assuming you mean soccer? Astute. "Okay," I said, "let's go." There's another play-by-play of them playing soccer. Riveting stuff, I know, but I am gonna skip past it.
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
At halftime, I drank some water and took off my tank that was really sweaty. Louis took off his shirt too, revealing a six-pack.
Good lad. Nice little buddy.
I whistled like he had done earlier. Niall was incredibly attractive with no shirt. I noticed Harry had 4 nipples. It's true. That is true. I didn't make that up. The way, like, this man having 4 nipples had a chokehold on the entirety of teenage girlhood at the time. Niall looked me up and down. All he could say was, "Hot." "You too," I said enthusiastically. I lay down on the grass. Niall lay down beside me. Niall put his chin on my shoulder and whispered, "You really do have a nice arse."
Right to jail.
Second glass, let's go. Let's go. Arse is what did it. "So," Liam began, "what are we going to do today?" "I know I'd like to see some sights," I said. "I know I have to take a shower." "Me too," Niall mumbled. "You know, Sarah, we would waste less water if we just showered together."
Right to jail. Right away.
"We would, wouldn't we?" He nodded excitedly. "What a shame that that's not going to happen. Don't be a perv. You get him, girl." I showered and realized when I got out that I forgot to bring clothes into the bathroom with me. Of course you fucking did. Shit. I cursed under my breath. I wrapped the towel around me and walked into the room. Only Niall was in there. Niall walked over and wrapped his arms around my waist from behind. He kissed my neck. I didn't want it to lead to something else. "Niall, I'm sorry. I'm just not ready for that." You are definitely not ready to have sex if you cannot say the word sex. "Oh God, don't be sorry." "I'm sorry. It's totally fine. Me neither. But you aren't going to stop me from kissing you, right?" "Of course not. I enjoy that quite a lot." He looked a little nervous. "What's wrong?" I asked, worried. "I guess I'm just really insecure and stuff. Sometimes I just wonder, how in the hell did I get you? I mean, you're so you, and I'm so me." Niall Horan, the global superstar who millions of girls were obsessed with, wondered how he got her. That's good stuff. And I was like, "You're so you, a 13-year-old that writes fan fiction and has a mullet. And I'm so Me, international pop star who everyone thinks is conventionally handsome in every way. I'm like, what? I was delusional. You are kidding me, right? Niall, you are so wonderful. How do you not see that? If anything, I don't deserve you. I love you so, so much. He looked up at me and a tear fell. For the first time, I thought about the future. All I could see was Niall, a kid. Niles.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn.
I wanted to be with him forever. True love. I heard him making small noises. He exhaled. We were still kissing. Suddenly, the boys burst through the door. Are we interrupting something? Yeah, no shit. Well, too bad. We want to sightsee. Niall finally said, all right, princess, let's go. For the third one, I need to get a princess crown, tiara, hat. We got into the small car again and drove. I sat on Niall's lap. I looked back and forth from his eyes to his lips. Oh, this again. Okay, I'm just trying to make it an immersive experience. The first place they took me was Big Ben. Everywhere we went, we got loads of pictures. We ate dinner at a fantastic restaurant. I ate fish and chips. They get back to the house, they make out again, they go to sleep. My question is, are they not rehearsing for their next X Factor performance? Like, why are they spending all day, every day with this bitch? They could be singing Viva La Vida. Do they want to be voted through or not? Louis walked over to me and said, what the hell is that? I looked in the mirror at where he was pointing. There was a hickey on my neck.
Believe it or not, jail.
I tried to cover. It must be from when I fell yesterday. Yeah, I fell on the stairs yesterday. I'm really clumsy. Harry walked over and observed. Oh, please. You two must have been sucking some serious face yesterday, because that's a hickey. Be careful next time. Jeez, Liam yelled at Niall.
He was always the daddy.
Daddy.
We walked to the bowling alley that was only a few streets away. I was on a team with Niall and Harry. I sucked. A lot. Just like Niall sucking on your neck. On my second turn, I was getting ready to throw the bowling ball when I felt Niall behind me. His body was touching mine and whispered in my ear, just do what I do. And then he does, you know, the classic, he's behind and he's gonna help and she's gonna do well and whatever. He kissed me right on the hickey.
I am so powerful. My mind, oh, it amazes me sometimes.
Then Sarah and Niall win, and she says, thanks for teaching me how to bowl. And he says, thanks for being so damn bad at it. The stage manager told the boys they were up next. I waited in the wings. Their intro video started playing. We had a really fun visitor this week. Niall said, yeah, a good friend of mine from DC came. Her name is Sarah. I wondered why Niall had said we were just friends, but I was sure there was a reason.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
They showed a clip of me surprising him, but left out the kissing. It's a family show.
Or is it?
Then they talked about the song, Something About the Way You Look Tonight. I literally don't remember them singing that on X Factor. Niall didn't have any solos, but Harry just murdered the notes. The judges started to give feedback. Cheryl said, so Niall, are you sure that girl is just a friend? Yeah, we're just friends. She's in the wing. Cheryl smiled and said, bring her out here. This would happen. He walked over to me and told me to come on stage. This is Sarah. The audience cheered and I waved shyly. Cheryl looked at me. You look gorgeous.
What the fuck is that?
So, you and Niall are just friends? I looked at Niall and then back at Cheryl. Yeah, we're only friends. That's interesting, she said. I've never seen just friends do that. She pointed to the screen behind us. There were a bunch of pictures of us making out. Why would she do this? What on earth did she have to gain from this?
Rue, when was this?
Right after New Year's.
You dumb fucking bitch!
The audience roared. I heard a few angry shouts. We both turned fire truck red. Niall put a hand on the small of my back. There it is again. Okay, so maybe we're more than friends. He pulled me into him and the audience, oh. Cheryl nodded and said, what's so great about her? Bitch. Cheryl, I'm sorry. Niall looked at me and then at Cheryl. Everything. And I mean, look at her. This would happen. This would happen. I know you're thinking this wouldn't happen, but you just like wouldn't get it. As somebody who like has never been there, you just like wouldn't understand that it'll happen. They finished getting feedback and we walked off the stage. I asked Niall, why did you say we're just friends in the first place? He answered, I didn't want either of us to get hate or anything. Honestly, thoughtful. Like, what a thoughtful king.
The next day.
I woke up with 11 missed calls from Jamie, 9 from Blake, and 7 from my mom. I called Jamie first. She picked up, crying. I glanced over at a sleeping Niall. What's wrong? Oh my God, is everyone okay? Catherine, accident, hospital, coma.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
Oh my God, okay. Her best friend Catherine's in a coma. I started crying and freaking out. Oh my God, will she be? We don't know yet. She's still alive, if that's what you're asking. I wish you were here. I'll be there within the next 24 hours. The line went silent. Why did every fanfiction have some bitch going into a coma? Like, we were not safe. I tried to keep the sobbing to a minimum. I was finishing packing when Harry came down from his bunk. What the hell? Are you okay? Do you need someone to talk to? Honestly, what a G Harry Styles is. Like, is this a fictionalized version of him that I completely made up and absolutely no way reflects who he is as a human being? Yes. But is he an absolute babe? Also yes. I nodded. What's going on? He put a hand on my back. One of my best friends in the world. She was in a horrible car accident. Shh. We'll be okay. Everything is going to be okay.
Don't worry about it. Everything's gonna be fine.
I put my head on his shoulder. She's my fucking rock. I just love her so fucking much. I hate the fucking universe. Why does it have to hurt her? Why couldn't I have been in that car? Oh my God, that is so much. That is so much.
Calm down. Calm down.
Why was your bag packed? You aren't supposed to leave for like 5 days. Are you kidding? I have to go. I have to be with her. I ran upstairs and quietly got my suitcase and phone. I looked at Niall. He rolled over a little and grunted. Cher Lloyd style. I slipped out the door and shut it quietly behind me. I sat back down with Harry. He put my head in his lap and held my hand as I cried. He was like the big brother I never had. Suddenly, I heard Niall's voice from the top of the stairs. What the hell is going on? He didn't yell, but he had an anger deep in his voice. Let me try again.
What the hell is going on?
I looked up at him and his face immediately softened. I explained everything. Niall kissed me on the top of the head and told me, I love you. Everything is going to be okay. I'm just worried about you. You're like the big brother I always wanted, Hazza.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Thank you so much for comforting me. Could you drive me to the airport? First flight to Washington, D.C., please. I handed Niall my wallet and he pulled my emergency-only credit card out and paid for the ticket. I couldn't stop picturing Catherine's line go flat. Jesus Christ. Absolutely no hope for recovery from Sarah. Niall's POV. Back in Niall's POV, where we honestly should be spending more of our time. Sarah rested her head against me, almost asleep, when her phone buzzed. Her mom was calling. I hit accept. Oh, Niall, could I please speak to Sarah? I don't think that's such a great idea at the moment. She's pretty broken up about things. The balls on this man to say no to her mother. Why am I simping for the fictional Niall Horan that I created as a middle schooler? I'm her mother and I need to talk to her. I watched the show last night and I wasn't very happy with the way you two were kissing. I don't approve of your relationship with my daughter.
Nobody asked.
Let me speak to her. Walked over to Sarah. Sarah, your mother wants to talk to you. Sarah's POV. No! I don't want to be back. I stood up and walked across the terminal. I stayed standing. Okay. Mother started speaking rapidly into the phone. I do not like that boy, not one little bit. He had his hands all over you in those pictures. That is inappropriate. He is rude too. I highly disapprove. Mom? I sighed. Not now. I'm just saying he's probably not as invested as you think. I'm sure he's only in— I don't care what you have to say. I love him and I'm pretty goddamn sure he loves me too. I'm going through shit right now and the last thing I need is you criticizing my boyfriend. Props to Sarah for standing up for herself. We love a strong female lead.
Thank you. for your consideration.
Niall walked over and wrapped his arms around my waist from behind. Sarah Thomas, don't you speak to me like that. I just don't like the way his hands were all over you. Maybe I do like his hands all over me.
Hey, champ, that's really interesting. Next time, keep it to yourself.
I hung up. He led me back to our seats where Harry was. What was all that yelling about? My mother doesn't approve of Niall. She just doesn't get it. Isn't that like the age-old thing teenagers say? I don't want you to think I'm only dating you to, you know, fuck. The word you're looking for is fuck. Or have sex. Or make love, if you're into that. I don't think that at all, I promise you. Harry said to me, can I talk to you alone for a minute? He pulled me over away from Niall. He's so in love with you.
Somebody lied to her several times.
I know he tells you all the time, but sometimes you need to hear it from someone else. I hugged Harry tightly and whispered, I'm gonna miss you. I had 10 minutes to say goodbye to Niall. I didn't know if I could handle it. I love you. Call me or text me every single day. Do you hear me? I nodded. Niall's POV. Yes! I was trying not to cry as I pulled Sarah closer. I picked her chin up, tilted my head, closed my eyes, and kissed her. I think a bomb went off in between us. Not in an airport. Jesus Christ. She moved her head to the side and I felt her tongue. We can't do that over Skype, she said. Sarah's POV. No! Why? We were with Niall for like 2 paragraphs and then it goes back to Sarah. I don't care about Sarah. She's not a global pop star. The flight was long and uneventful. See what I mean? Her shit's boring. The flight attendant gave me a tissue box. That's when you know you're down bad. This happened to me one time. I got on a plane after saying goodbye to my boyfriend at the time. I was crying pretty much the whole flight. She didn't bring me a tissue box, but she brought me a packet of cheese and salami. Like the fact that she brought me cheese and salami instead of a stiff drink or a box of tissues, I think she was my soulmate. And if you're watching this, call me. I walked into her room and fell apart. She had scratches and bruises all over. Her left arm and leg were casted.
Is that a real word?
And she was as still as a rock. Well, she's in a coma. I tried talking to her. Hey, Catherine, I promise you're gonna get through this, okay? Like she wasn't thinking about her flatlining the whole flight over. We stayed in the hospital room for hours. We saw Catherine every day for a week. We went in one day and talked to Catherine like always. I kept a close eye on her heart rate. Eventually, the beats were almost non-existent. The nurse looked at the screen and then at the 3 of us. Kids, I'm really sorry. We broke down. I started throwing books on the ground and screaming, why her? Why couldn't it be me in the car? Oh my God. Did I kill her off? I genuinely do not remember her dying because this character was based off of my best friend at the time. And I feel like I would not have killed her. And if I did, I'm sorry. You know who you are. It was a narrative device. It was not personal. I fell into a chair and Jamie and Blake were wailing too. We all sort of collapsed into each other when the nurse came out. Kids, she summoned us into the room. Catherine's eyes were open. She just said weakly,
How y'all doing?
Doctors had shocked her to get her heart rate up again, and she had woken up. Catherine stayed in the hospital for another week and a half. I made sure to keep Niall updated every day. It was week 10 of the competition. Catherine, Jamie, Blake, and I were on the couch watching X Factor results together. The boys had sung Torn, the same song they had sung at judges' houses.
Nothing's fine, I'm torn.
See you later.
The results were getting stressful. Only Rebecca and One Direction were left. The act that will move on to the live final is...
Rebecca!
It makes me emotional still to this day. They all looked just gutted. Zayn said they would stay a band.
We're definitely gonna stay together.
Interesting that you said that, Zayn. They walked off stage and I called Niall. He was crying when he picked up. Hey, Sarah, I know you boys are going to get signed. You guys are going to make lots of records. I promise you. I wouldn't be surprised if you got a call tomorrow. I tried to comfort him. It was late in London, so I told him to sleep. I slept on the floor with Jamie and Blake. Catherine got the bed, since she was the one who had physically died. What does a girl have to do to get a bed around here? Oh, I don't know, die and then come back to life. No, that's iconic. I'll stand by that line till I die. Physically. I woke up to my phone ringing. Niall, What? It's 5 in the morning. Sarah, Simon just signed us. What? All my friends woke up as I yelled into the phone. You aren't kidding right now, are you? Oh my God, that is so great. I'm so proud of you. Thanks. There is some bad news. I stopped jumping up and down for a moment. The first thing we are going to do is go on tour for 2 months in Europe. So I won't see you for 2 more months? Yeah, but we can Skype and talk all the time, okay?
Several months later.
Yeah, of course. I understand. I told Niall. He had called to say that they were recording their first album and that it was probably going to be another 2.5 months of recording before I got to see him. I missed him so much. I pretty much lived for the rare Twit cams where I got to see him, and most times he didn't even know I was watching. Do you guys remember the Twit cams that they did? They would live stream, but from Twitter. I don't think it's even possible anymore. And if you find footage of it now, it looks like it was filmed on a literal potato. They filmed that shit with a toaster oven. Mother, I'm once again reading One Direction fanfiction to thousands of people. Are you proud of me?
No, I'm proud of you. You should publish all of it.
Okay, too far.
Many months later.
I stood in the terminal and looked at Catherine and Jamie and Blake. I hugged them all. I was crying at the thought of leaving them, and I had a flashback of earlier that morning. You are going where? I'm going on tour with Niall. You can't say no because I'm an adult and only have to obey you while I'm living under your roof. I'm no longer living there. Please know that I love you. Bye. I said my final goodbyes to my friends and boarded the plane with Niall. That's it, folks. Bottle empty. So much has happened. A whole ass coma. Iconic series of events that has happened. If you see this video, it means I didn't die. Drink responsibly. Love the boys. As always, comment down below how much respect you lost from me after seeing this video and what your favorite cringy moment was. Like this video if you had fun watching it. I know I had fun making it. All of my socials are linked down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to check out my Patreon, it will be linked at the top of the description box. And in case you haven't heard it today, I love you. Goodbye.